Hurricane season poses different challenges for our elderly relatives and neighbors.
When it comes to evacuation, some have mobility issues, some simply refuse to leave. Owner of Home Care Solutions, Diane Bozeman, shows us how to handle some of those issues and keep everyone safe. And that is the first one on our list, which is talk to your seniors early about the evacuation plan, because as we were just talking about, sometimes they just don't want to leave. You have to convince them to leave.
Exactly. That might be the hardest part, even though we already went through this with Katrina and people did stay and many were sorry they stayed. But one of the biggest issues is dealing with the resistance. Also, when you're dealing with frail elderly people who just don't feel like they can get out of their house or make the trip. And it's those who might have dementia or Alzheimer's make it even tougher sometimes for families to actually move them.
And that's why it's so important to have a detailed plan.
Yes.
And talk about that plan that people should have.
I think that families, we're in the 12th day of hurricane season right now. Families should know where they're going, have some idea where the hurricane is going, where they will relocate with their elderly person. And they need to think about things like medications. We were just talking about you can't leave with 2 days of medications. We know that from our previous experience. As much as possible, you should have a week's worth of medications. You should have a list of doctors in the city that you're going to. You should know where the shelter locations are between New Orleans and wherever you're going. You should know about medical care in the community that you're going to. And all of this should be readily available really in the family smartphone. So it's not too early now to be putting that information in the phone.
The medications are really tricky because a lot of times senior citizens, they're not taking a pill. Two pills. They're taking 8 and 9, and you're not just monitoring the 2-week pill box, but the actual prescriptions, because you got to go, okay, you're getting close, you got to really monitor where is, all during the summer, look at their prescriptions.
It's complicated, and for families who aren't used to doing that and maybe not used to monitoring so closely their parents' prescription needs, and even then sometimes families are resistant, the elderly are resistant to have the families get that personal in their business,
And if you may want to consider taking the caregiver along with you. That may be something that's necessary.
Exactly. And we say this to families all the time. Even with our company, we can't always guarantee that every caregiver would evacuate with an elderly person, but families who are not used to doing personal care and grooming and diapering maybe, taking care of their parents' hygiene, it's something to think about, to find someone, a trusted friend, a trusted caregiver, that could go with you. It makes it a lot easier on the family.
And for people who are not living independently, they might be living in an assisted living situation, as the son or the daughter, you need to figure out what their plan is.
And most facilities, now would be the time, if you don't know, to be asking that facility, what is your plan? Do you evacuate to sister facilities? Certainly in nursing care, there's responsibility within the nursing facility to evacuate people, but in independent and assisted, those agreements vary from facility to facility.
Because after Katrina, there were so many people who lost track of their parents who they didn't know where the facility had taken them and they couldn't find them. So it's good to know what they're doing, and also whether they are going to, as the children, are going to have to take care of their parents in the event of a hurricane.
Exactly.
So it's something else I thought was very important, and that is, my mother used to say, remember, I'm the mama. You need to talk to your parents or talk to your elderly relatives. Allow them to be in on the planning, to have their say in how it's done.
Right. They need to feel like they're a participant in it, not being told what to do as a child would be told. And that's a delicate balance, as anyone who's had elderly parents confronts that issue at some time along that journey.
All right. Perfect.
Diane
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.